This conference will now be recorded.
Good morning, friends. Welcome to goonlinetrainings.com. So, already we have done the first class, okay? That is on Introduction to RDBMS or Introduction to SQL. Why RDBMS is needed? RDBMS stands for Relational Database Management System. Clear? I'm going to be starting these classes assuming that you don't know anything about IT, okay? I assuming that you're coming from the non-IT background. I assume that you don't know anything about IT, you don't know anything about software. So that is where I'm going to start my classes, my lectures. So you know what is about anything. Anybody can learn SQL. This is the fundamental course in IT industry. And if you know SQL, there are plenty of job opportunities in this world. Clear? The first session is already done on the last Saturday. I will be sending that video today. Make sure that you give your email IDs before you go. Okay. So I think I have the maximum mail IDs. And if you miss the first class, please give me your email IDs in the chat window. So without fail, guys. Okay. I pinged you in the chat window. You give me your email IDs. Clear? So that you will not miss any recording. So daily classes are going to be recorded, and this class is going to be shared after 1 hour. You make sure that you download the video on the same day. If you don't download it, this video will not be there in the shared folder after a few days. Make sure that you download the video on the same day without fail. Am I clear? And one more recommendation is that you better have a pen and paper. After the class you play the video and write it down the notes, okay? That will give you much more knowledge. So definitely, right? You buy a pen and paper or a book, and you pause the video, and take the notes without fail. Clear? Because whenever you go for the interview, you cannot play daily videos. At least you can go through the notes, right? So definitely you need to have notes and write video number one, notes, video number two, notes, video number three, notes. Clear? So I strongly recommend you write the notes, you maintain own notes, and draw more diagrams. Whatever be the diagram that I'm going to be drawing, so make sure that you also draw those diagrams, and any book without a diagram is not readable, right? So you have much more, diagrams you need to have in your notebook, and compulsorily you need to maintain your own notes. Clear? If you miss any class, no worries. You download that video and watch the video and attend the next class. Clear? And the validity of the course is 6 months. Even though you miss this batch, once you make the payment, you can also join the next batch. But the next batch is going to start after 2 months. Clear? If you miss this batch, there is no other batch, there is no other timing. These timing slots are fixed. Clear? You have to wait for 2 to 3 months to start another, SQL batches. We'll have, not 4 batches per annum. Okay, not more than that. 3 to 4 batches will be there. If you miss this batch, then the next batch is going to be starting in month of March. Clear? So make sure that you attend, even though you're busy, you can download the video, watch the video, and complete the syllabus without fail. Clear? If you know SQL, getting job in IT industry is very, very easy. And many people said, so they have downloaded a lot of videos from YouTube. They have downloaded a lot of videos from Udemy. And the way we are teaching, the way you see the videos completely different, and you can understand very soon. Clear? So you can understand very soon. People who are learning from Udemy or people who are learning from other institutions, then definitely they'll come back to me. They ask me, they don't get this kind of in-depth concept, and I'll make it very, very simple. I'll give you a lot of examples you to understand. Clear? So learning new concept is thrilling, challenging, and definitely enjoyable. Clear? So I am here because I love to teach. I'm passionate about teaching. Clear? And I have 20 years of experience in the IT industry, and I do lot of architecting work nowadays, and I've taught at least 20 to 30,000 people all over the world. Clear? I have students from India, from abroad, so especially from Canada, US, Singapore, Dubai, Malaysia, from Saudi Arabia, then lot of African countries students are there, and UK guys. Okay, so I've taken a lot of trainings, and definitely you will enjoy this training. But make sure that you are regular to the class, and if there is an emergency, no worries, you will be getting the video. But make sure you download the video within 1 or 2 days. Okay, if you send me email after 1 week saying that, sir, I did not download the video or I lost the video, means I cannot help you, because I will also delete these videos from my laptop. Clear? If you don't download the videos, means you will be the loser. Even though you send me email saying that, sir, I did not have this, I will simply ignore that mail. Clear? So make sure that you download the videos on daily basis and keep them in one single folder. Clear? Thank you, guys. So, so the next class today is the second class, and I'm going to be discussing about SQL Server database architecture. Okay, in the first class, I discussed about what is SQL, what is RDBMS, what is the need for RDBMS. I discussed. Clear? I think hope many of the students got the video. If not, I'll be sending the video today. Please watch the video. That was the first class. And today's class is on SQL Server database architecture. Clear? Now, if I take a computer, my laptop would be a computer. Your laptop could be a computer. In a single computer, we can have any software only once. How many times you're going to be installing a Windows software? Only once. How many times you install antivirus software? Only once. How many times you install MS Office software? Only once. Clear? So any computer will have any software only once. But now I'm telling you, SQL Server software can be installed in a single computer 50 times. This is what is called a breaking news. Clear? So you can have the setup file, double click on the setup file, you click next, 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 finish. It is going to be taking at least 45 minutes to 1 hour. One SQL Server setup is done. Then again you restart the computer, again go to the software installation setup file, double click on it, and you should be able to install the software second time. Restart the computer third time, fourth time, fifth time, like that. In a single computer, SQL Server software can be installed 50 times. Each setup, each installation is called as a instance, SQL Server instance. Clear? So you don't have this kind of a facility for Oracle or other RDBMS. Clear? So what are the RDBMS softwares that we have? We discussed on the first class, right? So RDBMS means Relational Database Management. So this is a concept given by Dr. EF code. So all these things we already mentioned. This was the concept. What is the purpose of this RDBMS? If somebody asks me, what is the purpose? RDBMS purpose is very, very simple: to store data and to retrieve data. That's it, nothing else. So if you ask me what is RDBMS, RDBMS is there to store the data, unlimited data, or you can say large amount of data. If I wanted to store, I need to have a software. Okay, RDBMS is a concept. It is going to be telling you how to store the a large amount of data and how to retrieve the data. That's it, nothing else. So if you ask me what are the RDBMS softwares are there in this world, the popular tool is called Oracle, and we have Microsoft SQL Server, and we have MySQL from MySQL company, then Teradata from Teradata Corporation, then we have IBM's DB2, then we have IBM's Netezza, then we have PostgreSQL, right? So lot of softwares are available. So these are called RDBMS softwares and RDBMS tools. Okay, in simple word, Oracle is a go down. Okay, SQL Server is a go down or storeroom. Teradata is one more go down or one more banking. What banking? It is a data bank. So we have data bank, blood bank, gold bank, right? So these are called different banks. So these are there to store the data, to retrieve the data. What is the purpose of a city bank? It is, deposit the cash and whenever you need, withdraw the cash. That's it, nothing else. Core banking is, storing and retrieving. So what is Citibank? What is Oracle? Oracle is one of the software which can store the data, retrieve the data. So you can assume Oracle as a go down, Oracle as a storeroom, right? A storage area, a banking. So data banking softwares, all of them are. So these are from different companies. Whether you use Oracle or whether you use SQL Server from Microsoft or MySQL, Teradata, all these are, the purpose is the same, but these are from different companies. Clear? We have a banking. So you have Citibank, you have ICICI Bank, you have HDFC Bank, you have ODS Bank, Deutsche Bank. You have a lot of banks are available. End of the day, you can go to any bank and open a new account and withdraw the cash, deposit the cash. That's it, right? You can go to any hospital like that. If you have data, you can store it anywhere. So that is the purpose of RDBMS. Clear, guys? So I strongly recommend all these things we discussed in the video number one. Today is the video number two is going on. Classes, second class is going on. So you need to understand the RDBMS, Relational Database Management System, as a concept. It is a completely, it is there to store the data, to retrieve the data. It is invented by Dr. E.F. Codd. He was working for IBM company. Clear? In 1970s, he invented this formula and he was given as 12 Codd rules. Okay, he was saying if you wanted to create a fresh RDBMS software means you need to have this rule number one is this, rule number two is this, rule number three is this. You have to maintain these rules. Okay, if you have at least 10 Codd rules in any one of these softwares means that software is called as a RDBMS software. Clear? So if you have at least 10 rules, okay, given by Dr. E.F. Codd. Clear? If you at least maintain 10 rules means your software will be called as a RDBMS software. Yeah, am I clear? So many people are going to be asking me, RDBMS is means what? It is a concept. Banking is a concept. Citibank is a company, right? Like that. So RDBMS is a concept. Oracle is a company who's going to be, giving you a software. Microsoft is the company who's going to give you a SQL Server software. So this is the one. It is started in 1989 by Microsoft. Clear? So if you wanted to interact with these softwares, what is the purpose of a software? The purpose is to store the data, retrieve the data. That's what I told you. But you have to communicate, right? You are the developer. You are the developer. You wanted to communicate to this guy, to Oracle. You wanted to communicate to this guy. You wanted to communicate to this guy. So I'm communicating to you using an English, right? So I can communicate to you using Chinese, or I can communicate to you using my own Indian language called Hindi. So you need to have a language to communicate it, right? So how do you say, hey Oracle, you store this data? How do you say that? If you say in English, will it understand? Oracle is not a human being. It is not going to understand, right? Oracle is a software. So how do you communicate to the software? How do you communicate to the computer who's having Oracle software installed? Okay, we have to have a language. So that language is called as a what language we were using earlier? We were using C language to communicate, which was very, very complex. Now, IBM people given a language called SQL. Clear? Structured query language. This is the language invented by IBM in 1970s. Earlier, if you wanted to communicate to Oracle or anybody else, you had to write a C program. C is very, very complex. So many people questioned. So you need to have a simple language that can be used to communicate, right? So C is, very, very big and very, very powerful language. But I don't need big and powerful and complex language. I need to have a small language. For example, I have a big knife. Big knife can cut the trees. Any tree you can cut it. Anything you can do it because I have very, very big knife. But I wanted to shave my beard. Can I use the knife? It is not useful. So I wanted to invent a blade. Using a blade you can easily shave, but you cannot cut the trees, right? So for the blade, for you know shaving your beard. But if you wanted to have a big knife to cut the trees, we have a C language is ocean. It is very, very big, but you cannot implement that everywhere. I wanted to have a smallest language, just like a blade, right? The simple example you can code. So I wanted to have a smallest language. So only to interact with these RDBMS softwares, that language is called as SQL, structured query language. Clear? Be clear. SQL Server is not a language, which is a software. Okay. Never think that SQL and SQL, these are same. So both of them are same. No, both of them are not same. SQL is a language. SQL is a language, and which is going to be used to store the data, to retrieve the data in all RDBMS softwares. Clear? Microsoft has taken this name and they kept the same name to their software. For example, my name is Bhaskar Gates and we have Bill Gates. Gates and Gates is equal. Can you say that Gates and this Gates is equal? You cannot say like that, right? Bill Gates is the Microsoft founder. Bhaskar, Gates is from India. So there is no connection between Bhaskar Gates and Bill Gates, right? Can you compare like that? Can you say there is a SQL SQL here, there is SQL here? Can you say both of them are same? No, both of them are not same. So SQL Server is a software. Oracle is a software. But what is SQL? SQL is not a software, which is a language. You know what is English? English is a language. But you know what is a physics? Physics is not a language, right? Physics is a topic, or you can say this is one more subject. So be clear what is a language and what is a subject. Clear? What is a software? SQL is a language, structured query language. Okay, structured query language. So this is the full form SQL, or people are going to be calling this as a SQL. Never write like this. This is completely wrong. But you can pronounce it like this. You can pronounce it like this. This is the wrong one. Clear? So you should not write like this, but you can pronounce it. This is the wrong one, guys. Clear? So SQL or SQL means this only. So these are the called softwares. This is you. This is you have to communicate to this guy. So you need to use a language called SQL language. So you give the commands in SQL language. All these people can communicate to you like this. Okay. So how do you communicate with the Oracle, SQL Server, MySQL, Teradata? You have to know a language. Clear? So people would ask you, do you know SQL? Does it mean it is they're not asking for SQL Server? So do you know SQL means? You may know Oracle, you may know SQL Server, you may know MySQL, Teradata, DB2, Netezza, PostgreSQL, if you know any one of these RDBMS softwares, that means you know SQL. Clear? Because all these guys can understand a language. That language is called as SQL language. So people would ask you, do you know SQL? Yes, I know SQL. I have learned Oracle. I know SQL. Yes, I have learned Netezza. Clear? So DB2, Netezza, these two from IBM company. Clear? These two softwares from IBM company. DB2, Database 2000, and Netezza. So remember this. Clear? If you wanted to communicate tomorrow to the softwares, what is the language that you're going to be, learning from me? That language is called as SQL. Tomorrow, you may join Oracle batch. So the trainer is going to be teaching you SQL. If you wanted to learn MySQL tomorrow from other institution, you are going to be learning what is called as SQL. What is SQL? Which is a language. What is SQL Server? Which is a software. What software it is? RDBMS software. What is the purpose of RDBMS? To store the data of the company, to retrieve the data. What is the data? It can store unlimited data. It can store, especially GB, some terabytes of data, it can easily accommodate. Clear? So Oracle is a software, or you can say Oracle is a go down. Clear? SQL Server is one more go down. MySQL is one more go down. Teradata is one more go down. So you can think them as a go downs or banks. Clear? So data banks. That is how you need to understand. Clear? So RDBMS is, even today it is rocking all about data. All about data. You're going to be learning as part of SQL Server or Oracle. Clear, guys? So this is what is called introduction, and lot more other things I discussed in the first day video, and this one is also there in the first day video. So I'm just repeating the same thing once again here. Am I clear, guys? And if you have any question, you can ask me anytime. Thank you, guys. Okay. So now what I'm saying, I wanted to install. We have a lot of softwares. What are the softwares we can have? Any software. You can buy Oracle or SQL Server, anything you can buy. So there is no problem, right? So to store your data. Think about Amazon.com. Where is the data of Amazon? Maybe in Oracle, maybe in SQL Server. Think about your Citibank data. Where is the data? You go to a hospital. Where is the data? You go to a supermarket, Walmart's, and you buy something. Where is your data? Your payments data, your credit card data, your cash withdrawals data, deposits data, all the data today is going to be stored in RDBMS softwares only. You may be having Oracle, you may be having SQL Server, you may be having DB2, that we did not know. So that is, given to the application. Clear? The company. But we only know we use a website to transfer the funds. We go to net banking, we use Android mobile phones, and we do some lot of transactions. We buy lot of products from Amazon, right? So where is the data Android is going to keep? Do you think that it is going to be keeping in your, website itself, Android itself? No, it is going to be going somewhere. For example, you eat apple. Do you think that the body can understand apple and banana? Body cannot understand what is an apple, what is a banana, what is a chicken, and what is a pizza. Body can understand glucose, carbohydrates, amino acids, vitamins. So if you take banana, body is going to be digesting and absorbing, so the lot of calcium, vitamins, lot of things from there. So you think that you are eating banana, but you're not going to eating banana there. You're eating a lot of these things there. Clear? So you assume that you're giving a lot of data to Amazon.com. You give the payment data. Do you think that Amazon is going to be using that? No, Amazon is not going to be keeping the same thing as it is. It's going to be sending the complete data to RDBMS. So all these website will take the data, but they cannot store the data. Remember this point. All these websites that we are using today, they take your data, but they don't store the data. So all this data is getting or being stored in a RDBMS softwares only. So backend we have RDBMS. Remember that. Clear? So whatever you eat, that will not be there in the stomach, right? It will go to your blood. So that is what you need to understand. Otherwise, you think that it will be there in your blood. It will be there in the stomach or in your mouth. Nothing else. Nothing will be there. So you assume that you give a lot of data to websites. Websites cannot store the data. They are going to be storing or giving the data to the backend softwares. These are called backend softwares. What are they? So these are called backend softwares. Websites are going to be prepared or going to be developed using Java, .NET, PHP, SAP, and Android. So all these are called as front-end applications. Clear? Oracle is a backend application. So these are called backend applications, backend apps. Front-end applications means any language-oriented applications like Java, .NET, Python, and we have C, C++, VC++, AngularJS. Any language is called as a front-end application. Websites are going to be building using these front end languages only. So website is a front end software, and front end softwares cannot store the data. So they capture the data from the user, and complete data is getting stored by Amazon.com, by City Banking software, or your Android mobile phones. All the data is going to go to where? One of these servers. One of these servers. Clear? So that is what you need to understand. Now, I'm talking about, I'm talking about, I have a single computer. I need the software to be installed only once. But why is that I'm going to be installing the software 50 times? What would be the reason for it? So that is what we need to understand. Why Microsoft thinking something, differently? Why is that? Why is that they're thinking differently? Why is that they're saying, hey Bhaskar, you can install the software in your computer 50 times? Why is that? What is the need for it? Let me tell you clearly. Okay, you assume that no non-IT company is going to be keeping the data in their premise. For example, you go to Walmart. Do you think that the company is maintaining the IT teams and everything? No, they don't maintain IT teams. They outsource the complete, software development, software, data, everything to IT company. Clear? And you think about Amazon.com, they don't maintain their data. They don't maintain IT companies. So what they do, they outsource the completely IT activities to one IT company, right? So you think about any company, yatra.com, flipkart.com, amazon.com, netflix.com, citibank.com, anything, any software that you're using today, that is not developed by the same company, that is not being maintained by the same company. So all non-IT companies which are there, so the software is being maintained and developed by IT companies only. Remember. So you assume that we have a company called Wipro or Accenture. You can take one of these companies. So there's an IT company called Wipro, or you can take any IBM, any company you can take it, Wipro, or you can take IBM, any IT company, or you can say Accenture. Okay, so you can take any one of these companies. These are called IT companies. So I'm coming from, let us say, citibank.com. I'll say, hey Wipro, you have to store my data. What I need to do? Wipro company is maintaining Walmart data. Wipro company maintaining, let us say, Citibank data. Wipro company is maintaining, let us say, Government of India passports data, Government of US water list data. A lot of data these companies are being, maintained. So what we need to do? So if I need to maintain a data, first I need to buy hardware. I need to buy hardware, right? Then install, operating system. Then later you need to install antivirus. Then you need to have a RDBMS software. So probably you can have, say, SQL Server. We're talking about SQL Server. You need to install this software. So this is given to A single company. What company? Let us say this is given to Citibank. Okay. All the Citibank data is going to come to this machine. Now, again, one more company we have it. So let us say we have Netflix. Okay. Again, you have to buy hardware plus, you need to buy operating system plus antivirus and lot of things you need to have it. Then SQL Server software you got to install. So not SQL Server, maybe Oracle, something else. And this may be given to Netflix. Clear? Like that, you are maintaining a lot of servers. You're maintaining a lot of servers, and every time you are buying hardware, then you should also buy softwares. So operating system you need to buy, antivirus you need to buy, SQL Server license you need to buy. Without that, you cannot maintain pirated softwares, guys, right? So any IT company will not maintain a pirated softwares at all. So they need to buy these softwares. Now, buying hardware is good, buying operating system, buying antivirus, buying SQL Server, and installing and maintaining it is a big headache. And after 1 year or after 2 years, they have taken some metrics. So Citibank is having very bigger software. Only 18% of the CPU and the RAM and hard disk they have utilized, and the Netflix company, it is using only 6% of the hardware. So this company may be using 37% of the hardware last 5 years, hardware and the software. Clear? So if you see last 5 years, they have used only this much of a software and this much of a hardware. But what will happen after some time? After 10 years, software is not perishable, but hardware is perishable. Perishable means it is not going to work after 10 years, after 5 years. So we bought very big hardware and install lot of things, and we did not install not even 50% of the software and the hardware. So what will happen? You are going to be wasting the budget, because after 5 years, after 10 years, these hardwares will be perishable. Perishable means it is not going to work at all. So why are we wasting so much of a budget and not utilizing completely? And unnecessarily you need to buy hardware, software, antivirus, everything. It is a waste of time, waste of money, waste of energy. So Microsoft says if you wanted to maintain lot of companies data, so don't buy different hardwares. So what Microsoft says now? Microsoft is saying you buy a single hardware. Okay, you buy a single hardware. So this is the hardware. You install only one operating system, only one antivirus, single machine. Inside that, you install SQL Server first time, SQL Server second time, SQL Server third time. Like that, you can install SQL Server 50 times. Remember this point. Clear? So dot dot dot. This is the first time, first in setup. This is the second setup, right? So this is the second setup. This is the third setup, and the last one is the 50th setup. In a single hardware, we are maintaining or we are installing SQL Server many a times. You don't buy lot of you don't buy lot of hardwares and lot of softwares, and don't waste the time to install it, and don't put more budget, and you are not going to be utilizing the complete hardware and software. You give this you give this to Citibank, you give this to, let us say, one more Walmart, you give this to one more company, you give this to one more company. So all these are running in a single machine only, because this may be taking 10%, this may be taking 5%, this may be taking 20%. So this may be taking this one. So you may have up to 50. So you may maintain 4 instances. Okay, each setup is called as one instance. This is a SQL Server setup I'm talking about. Clear? I'm talking about SQL Server setup. So this is called as instance. Okay. So SQL Server will be telling this is instance. Setup is called as instance. So this will be given to Citibank. First instance. Clear? The next instance can be given to a Walmart or Netflix. Next instance may be given to some other company. You are not wasting your hardware at all. So this guy is maybe taking 18%. Now this guy may be taking so another 5% or 10%. So you can have at least 4 to 5 servers are running. These are not physical servers. These are not physical servers. These are called virtual server. Virtual means not real. Clear? These are not different hardwares altogether. Today, all the softwares are running. So we are going to store the data in a single hardware itself. So this instance and this instance will not store, will not show the data to other instances. So this instance and this instance will not get the data. Even though everything is available in a single machine, it is not going to show the data to other instance. I'll give you one simple example. One a father is there, and one father got 10 sons, 10 daughters, like that. Okay, big family. Everybody is demanding, hey father, we would like to have a separate house. Father has money, so sons are demanding, Father, why don't you give a separate house to each of us? So each one of us. So father is, buying houses for each and every son and daughter. So he has a 10 sons and 10 daughters. What will happen? So he needs to buy lot of houses, waste of money, budget and everything. He got an idea. What is the idea? He will buy open land, and he will build a 20 bedroom flat. Okay, so common kitchen, common playground, common toilets, and bigger halls, and a lot of bedrooms, and everybody will have a lock and key. So I cannot come to your bedroom, you cannot come to my bedroom. So completely lock and key. So even though we are staying in single premises, so everybody will have a common kitchen and common hall, common stores, common toilets, common playground, common music center. So common swimming pool will be there. But you have your bedroom is different, my bedroom is different. Like that, a single premise you can have a lot of bedroom. You know. This one. So you can construct like that. So less budget, all the sons staying together, and with the less budget and less efforts. Clear? Instead of buying 50 or 20 houses separately. Clear? So that is the concept here. So everything is having in a single hardware only. But end of the day, these are not going to share the data. One company data is not going to share it to another company. Clear? So this setup is called as the first setup. So this is what is called the first setup, right? The first setup is called as default instance. Remember this. Okay, you will have one default instance, only one default instance, and remaining things. Remaining means I'm talking about from this and this and this. Okay, all these things. So from second, third to 50th. So these are called named instances. Okay, you will have one default instance, and remaining 50 you will have named setups or named instances, not 50, 49. Sorry. Okay, so you will have one default instance, and remaining 49 are called named setups or named instances. Clear? So what do you mean by default instance and what do you mean by named instance? So what is the meaning? I'll tell you. So whenever you install the SQL Server first time in your computer, for example, tomorrow you will get the software, right? So we are going to give you one video also. So using that video, you will be able to double click on setup file and going to be installing the software in your laptop. So first time when you install it, that setup is called as a default setup or default instance. Now, default instance will have a name to it, right? You have a name, I have a name, and your country has a name, your pet has a name, your college has a name, even your setup is also going to be having a name. So, what is your computer name? So, I wanted to know my computer name means I click on this folder. Now, I come here, this PC, right click on this. Now, I say properties. What is my computer name? Kedar. So this is my computer name. So everybody has a name, right? So everybody has a name. So my Windows name is what? Kedar. This is my computer name. You will have different name. Now the same name is going to be taken by the default setup, default instance. Okay, I'm talking about SQL Server setup. So what name will be given? The name will be given as a Kedar only. Clear? Your Windows name is what? What is the Windows name? You can simply come here and see. I'm running 64-bit operating system. I'm having 4 GB of RAM. Clear? And I'm having i5 processor. And this is the speed of the processor. 4 GB of RAM, 64-bit operating system. Clear? Windows 10 Pro. So you can get all the information. How do I come here? Simply click on this button and right click on this PC, properties. That's it. So anybody can go, they can understand what is the name. Clear? The same name will be given to SQL Server if the Windows name and SQL Server name is the same means. So this setup is called as a default setup. So you will have one setup like this, one instance, okay, one setup like this. So it will be Windows name will be taken as your SQL Server name. The next time, whenever you installing the SQL Server, you supposed to give name to the instance. So I may give name as Obama. I may give name as Biden. You can give any name. You can give name as Citibank. Clear? You can give any name to the instance, but the first time it is not going to be asking you any name. It is going to take the default Windows name will be SQL Server name. That instance is called as a default instance, and remaining one default instance we can have, remaining 49 remaining 49 named instances we can have per computer. So I was working for Microsoft, okay, not now. Some 8 years back, 2012, I left Microsoft. When I joined, so we were having very, very big servers there. So we were having, 4 to 5 instances in a single computer. We were getting a lot of data from China, and we were getting lot of data from Dublin. We were getting lot of data from Singapore. All this data is come to my city only. We had a Microsoft big campus, and the next campus is there in Redmond, US, right? So a lot of our friends are working over there, and I used to work in this campus. We used to get lot of data from different countries, and all this data is being stored in a single machine only. The machine is having 4 to 5 instances. We'll say China instance, we'll say Africa instance, we say Asia instance, like that. We store large amount of data, and all this data from our campus. So once in a moon or once in a quarter, all this data, all the sales data of Microsoft will be pushed to Redmond servers. Clear? So like that, a single hardware machine can have minimum one, maximum you can have 50. So you need not install 50 times in your machine. So that is not needed. So only one time you install. So the first setup is called as a default setup. Now I have opened SQL Server, I have installed SQL Server, but how to open SQL Server? If you ask me how to open SQL Server, don't worry, all these things you will take time to install it. So today, tomorrow, day after tomorrow, you will have whole week. So slowly you install the software in your machine. So don't be in hurry burry. and you can reach my team anytime. You have the team's number, right? So 96421 43942. This is my, their WhatsApp number. This is their email ID, trainings at goonlinetrainings.com or info at goonlinetrainings.com. You just reach them saying that I have joined SQL Server batch. Please, I need a software. Clear? People people who made the payments, so they will be able to get the softwares immediately. So please ask them to give the software, and they will be scheduling a time to install. And so they'll give you a self what is it, uh, where a video will be given. So watching that video, you should be able to install the software by yourself. If you have any issues, means you can either call me. If they do, call me or call them. So if they don't respond, then call me. Okay, so for installations and everything, you can have these two numbers in your mobile phone without fail. Clear? For any technical lab guidance, you can just ping me or call me. For any other operational issues or software issues, you just call them. So make sure you can take one machine and install the software. We cannot help you multiple times. We cannot say, sir, I bought one more laptop today, and can you assist to install second time? No, the second time will be chargeable. First time we're going to be helping you for free, but second time when you request, then definitely it will be chargeable, guys. Make sure you buy a proper laptop. So what is the laptop? We need to have it. So any basic laptop will do. So you can have minimum 2 GB of RAM, and minimum 200 GB hard disk is enough. Okay, or lesser than that is also enough. And any processor, i3, i4, i5, any processor will do. Okay, any processor, and Windows 10 has to be there. Windows 10 is recommended, and you install PDF and WinZip. If you don't have this, ask my team, they'll be able to install. And WinZip or WinRAR, anything. And you need to install MS Office without fail, 2007 or later, and install SQL Server 2017 or later. Later means we have only one software as of now, 2017 or 2019. So the next version is going to come next year, 2021. Clear? The next version, it is not there in the market. It is going to be released probably after 10 days or after 20 days. It's going to be released into the market. If not in Jan, and definitely you will be able to get this software in month of March or April. This is not there now. Clear? So these are the current versions, 2017 or 2019. So you can install it, and these are the the recommendations of the hardware, and these are the software recommendations we will give you. Clear? So you download the software first, because downloading will take a lot of time. You download it, and after that you tell my team saying that it is downloaded. Now you start installing it by seeing the video. Video also you will be able to get it, and by seeing the video you can install it. But if you couldn't, then you can reach them out without fail. Clear, guys? And you take time and do slowly you do it. Now after installation, if you wanted to open SQL Server, so what to do? You have to go to start, then you say SSMS and press enter. This is how you need to open a SQL Server. What is SQL Server? Which is a RDBMS software by Microsoft, where we can store the data and we should be able to retrieve the data. So what is SQL Server? Which is a storeroom or a godown. That's what you need to assume as a layman. Clear? Go to start. I'm here. Then say SSMS. SSMS means SQL Server Management Studio. Click on this. That's it. Okay. So SSMS means what? SQL Server Management Studio. So this is for RDBMS. Clear? So SSMS, SQL Server Management Studio. So you will be able to get this. So please wait, guys, and which is going to open the. So you will have a window, or you can simply go here and click on this. You can click on this icon, or you can click on this SSMS. You will be able to get this kind of a window. So please wait. SQL Server Management Studio. So it's going to be opening. So I have installed default setup. I have installed what default setup. So I'm now opening a default setup. So I need to provide the server name. Okay. What is my server name? I said dot. Dot means local SQL Server default instance. It is asking me. It is asking me. So what is the server name? I said dot. Server name is dot means I'm connecting to local SQL Server. Click on connect. So this is how you are going to connect it to the SQL Server. So it will ask you the name of the SQL Server. So this is a default instance. Now, whatever I'm doing, so you don't worry about it. All these things you will learn later. So no worries, whatever I'm doing today. Okay. So I'm clicking on this, clicking on that. I wanted to show you something. So I wanted to say, what is the name of the SQL Server? I'm writing one command. Okay, you never worry about these commands. So see now, the it is telling a Kedar is my Windows name. My SQL Server name is also the same thing, and this is the command to get your SQL Server name. Okay, all these things you will learn later. And when the Windows name and SQL Server name is similar, right? So then this setup is called as a default setup. Clear? How can I connect? You can say dot, you can give dot, or you can also give machine name as the this name, Kedar, or you can also say local host, or you can also give IP address if you know the IP address of the computer. You can give dot, or you can give Kedar, or you can say local host. Local host is a single word. You cannot give like this. Okay. Still, you should be able to get the Kedar. For example, I go now. Let me close this. Okay. Let me close this. So let me open once more. Okay. One more. This one. I wanted to give this time Kedar, or I can give a local host. You can give anything. Dot or Kedar or localhost, click on connect. So I'm able to connect. Now it is being connected. Now sometimes you may get like this, you need to click on this. That's it. So you can click on new query window. And what is the server name? What is my SQL server name? I need to write a command. Select @ server name. Clear, guys? So and execute it. Now, even though I give a local host, it is showing me as a Kedar. Clear? So again, we can close this. You can give dot Kedar local host IP address. Whatever you wanted to give, you should be able to give. But if you wanted to connect to named instance, clear? So you need to give like this. Server name, you need to give dot slash and the instance name. Instance name is called Citibank. So this is how you need to give. Or Kedar slash. Which slash? Just observe carefully, not this slash. Okay. So this slash and the instance name. You can also say like this and like that. Clear? Or this and this. So if you wanted to connect to instance name, you are going to be using either this or this. Like that, you should be able to get it. So tomorrow I wanted to, this is also one more instance name. So instead of Citibank, you give this name. You give this name. So you should be able to connect it to this, instance. Clear? So whatever you wanted to connect, so the instance name you should be able to know. and you can easily get it. So this is how server name you should be able to provide and work on it. Clear, guys? So today we spoken about only two things. The first thing is called, in a single computer we can install maximum 50 instances, but for the learning purpose you can have one or two instances. The first instance is called as a default instance. The second instance onwards called as named setups. So default instance will be same as the name of the SQL server will be the same as the Windows name. Use a dot to connect to default instance. If you wanted to connect to named instances, give dot slash the instance name. Clear? Or machine name slash instance name, or IP address slash instance name will be there. So that's what we discussed. And later tomorrow, I'm going to be teaching you what is in single instance, what is that we can have. So what is the file group? What is a transaction log file and data file? What is extent? All these things we are going to be seeing in tomorrow's class. Am I clear? Thank you guys for attending this batch. And if you have any questions, you can ask me later or to now. I'm ready to take your questions. Guys, give me your email IDs because I don't want you, miss any video. Okay. So first time attending people, because last time people who have attended, I have their email IDs with me. So Emmanuel, I think I don't have your email IDs. Please give me. And Gopi Krishna, I think I have yours. And Nitish, who's KHK? Yeah, please give me your email IDs. Manisha, please ping me yours. And Nitish, I have others, okay? Please give me your email IDs, guys, and leave. If you have any questions, you can ask me. And Shiva, Kottamurus, Saujanyas, I have Srikant, Stanley's, I have Sundar, I have Yugo, I have. Guys, please give me your email IDs and then leave, okay? Any other questions? Thank you, guys. Thanks for
Sir,
attending. Yeah, tell me.
I have to posted my my email address,
Mm, 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 mm.
and
Okay.
Emmanuel is the one that was trying to log in. That's my sister. So
Okay.
she has also posted you her email
Okay,
address.
that's fine. That's fine. That's
Thank you.
fine.
It was very clear and very precise. Thank you so much. We have another class, right, tonight?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That
I
is for
mean,
MSBA.
morning for you. Yeah. Okay.
Why do we need to install several instances of Microsoft Server? I mean, one instance can manage several
Yeah,
databases. I mean, I remember this like separation between different clients, but why do we need to install this software several times?
you can have any version. You can have any version can be installed there. You can take 2017 or 2019. Any version you can install. Only one setup in your laptop. Clear? That is default instance. Yeah.
Mhm.
Anything else?